Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So I'm going to do an art journal page, and I'm going to show you a few things that I've done. This is just my art journal where I have all kinds of different pages I've done. I've done, go-throughs before. Just one of my favorites. And God only knows where else. Where I do different, just play around, and where I did this, where I just took some embroidery floss and did it so we can, so we're going to do these two pages, but let me show you a couple of things I've really been loving that I've been doing. I could spend hours showing you all the resin that I've been doing, but look how cool these are. Look how cool those came out. Just going to show you a couple. I did some resin paper, as you can see. And I couldn't decide the word, so I don't know if I want to. I love how, like, on here it's like motivations this way and gratitudes this way, so I can use both. But I love the way this came out, so I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. And I've been making some moons. Let me show you one. I just have to color this one. And oh my goodness, the stuff. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, these. Oh my god, I could sit for hours and show you guys. These pendants. Look how pretty. My hands hold them. Look how pretty those are. And then we got this one. Look how pretty. Oh, so I got so many things. So yeah. Oh, I could go on for hours. So I have all kinds of pendants and cats and all kinds of stuff. So I'll do, once they're up for sale, I'll do a video to show you, like, up close and personal. So what we're going to do today is just an art journal page. I'm going to kind of talk as I go through, nothing major. But you see how I have like these colors, and so I get asked a lot about product and how do you, because I always say like a twofer, you know what I mean? Like I love buying products or things that I can use in 2 different ways, 3 different ways, 4 different ways if I'm lucky. So acrylic paint is fantastic because you can use it as a quote unquote watercolor paint. You can use it as a regular acrylic paint. You can use it. I use it and make glazes. I do all kinds of stuff with adding different things to it. Now, for instance, today I'm going to do some, let me move you out just a little bit. We'll do like some watercolory kind of thing. Now, what I did was I put some crackle down, and we're going to see how that plays in with it all, with all of it. So I have some colors here. I didn't grab red, is the only one I got. But I have yellow, I have pink, I have purple, I have blue, I have a navy blue, a darker blue, I have a green, which is happy green, because let's get happy. And those are what I'm going to play with. Now, I also like to add in white or gesso. I have my gesso there. It depends on what kind of thing I'm going for. And we're going to start very light. So I'm going to take, I love using a, oh, almost just fell in the water. I love using a squishy brush. This is like a brush that I call these like a scruffy brush, but you could tell what it is. I also have brushes of my own that I've kind of, they're like, I don't want to say cheaper brushes, but you know, they're more flexible. So you can use those as well. And let's go in. I'm going to take a little bit of, you know what? I'm going to do my Mod Podge first. I'm going to give it a shake though. Shake it. I'm going to try to open it because strength is not with me today. I'll use this little brush and I'm going to go in. Now remember, you want to use something that dries clear. And I'm going to just put a little bit there. Let's go in with yellow first. This is Daybreak. You use a whatever color, yellow you have. I'm just going to do a squirt. I'm going to do a squirt of water, 2 if it's a good boy. And I'm just going to move it around. Now I'm doing a background, but of course you can paint, you could paint something. We're going to see how this, if it does come up with any crackle as it dries. We'll see. Because I want that crackle coming through, but you see how light we get it? And when it dries, it'll be even lighter. Now, with what's left on here, let's go over here. And I want those colors coming through. I love making like a watercolor background with acrylic paint is essentially what we're doing in Mod Podge. Okay, so you can see, yellow's a pretty color, not opaque, translucent color anyway. So let's dry our brush off a little bit. Let's go in with some, well, no, you know what? Let's do some blue. And this is Jamaican Sea. Jamaican me, I can't see because I'm blind. I'm only going to do that a little bit. I'm going to take some Mod Podge. Going to mix it. Going to do a spray of water. You do whatever combination works for you. Flipping my brush around. I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to mix it in a little bit with that yellow to see if we can get some green going. And you see how it's a glaze almost? Look at that. And I'll do some of that over here. Just to kind of clean off the brush a little bit. A little bit into the yellow, see if we can get some green going. My yellow is probably not wet enough. It's all right. Nobody's mad at it. And I like to go back and forth here just a little bit to kind of blend it. You don't have to. See how we're doing. Let's see if I can, let's see if it helps a little bit more. So you see how light that is. So that's a great glaze, right? So let's go in with some, let's go in with some purple. And you can do it a lot like that. I'm going to go in, take that, same gig. Squish it around, take my water. And the reason I add water is to thin it out a little bit as well. Now you can definitely do just that. Add your water, and I'll show you on the end there. I'll just do this small area here. I'll just bring it over here. Could probably use some more water. Obviously, this is a very opaque. And that's okay. This is when I get another piece of, like this, move it up in here a little bit. I'll get another piece of paper because it happens. I'm not the only one who, likes to squirt too much paint. So I'll just take my extra piece of paper I have here, go back and forth on it, because remember, we're making another piece of paper. And I just keep adding water, and you see it gets thinner and thinner and thinner. I can even get a little bit more water and bring it down here. With no more color. And let's just see how that goes. So that'll go over here for a second. I will take my wet brush because I want it wet. So it really blends. Some of that crackle wasn't dry. That's all right. And I'm going to go in with my towel and take some of that off. It happens. It happens to the best of us, the worst of us. It always just happens. Okay. I'll go in a little bit more and smooth it out. And you'll see, you're still getting your light color. Look at that. Okay. All right. So, oh, my chair today is like squeaking. Is that because I'm getting a little bit of weight, or is it just because I don't even know? So I'm going to go in with some of the navy blue. And I'm just going to do a little bit of this because I learned my lesson. I'm going to go in with some more Mod Podge. And we're going to mix it around. Okay. Need a little bit more water. Let's go over here. I just love throwing paint around lately for my backgrounds. Because I mean, you can see, look at the difference. I have this and then I have that color. Like, you really can play with it to see what you want. Now I'm going to add a little bit more water here. Why I did it like this, I don't know, but I'm going to drip down that way. Let's drip it. Drip it real good. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna squirt it up here because I'm into the drips. I'm into like the grunge lately again. I go through my phases. But look how it's like a glaze, right? It's light. I'm gonna take some of this off. Look at that cool, like you're getting all these patterns, right? I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And then I'm gonna show you on a white piece of paper what I'm talking about as far as like getting it to be a glaze. And this is not new to anybody, I'm sure. I'm gonna make this come back this way a little bit. But I love, look at that. As a background. I'm gonna dry this. You don't have to, dry it if you don't want. You can just leave it dry. I'm gonna just leave that dry like that. I don't necessarily want to, now you can see like down here the water's puddling a little bit. I just like to give it a little dab. I mean, look how cool that is. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And over here we still have some glazes going on. Our blue, our yellow, our purple. Now I'm going to go in with some of this green. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to squash it back. I'm going to put a little bit here, a little bit. I'm going to take my other brush. You don't have to use Mod Podge. I'm just going to take my water. I'm going to wet my brush and I'm going to move it around. Okay. And then I'm going to go and I'll add it here. And you see how obviously, but you're getting that watercolor effect. It is perfectly okay to do this. Now, the reason I get asked so many questions, and I love it because when I first started all these things, I was like, oh, can you use acrylic paint as watercolor? Why is it called acrylic paint and not watercolor? Well, obviously, there's different properties to them and that kind of thing. One of the main properties and one of the main things is when this all dries, it's going to be permanent. I'm not going to be able to go back and blend this because you can see underneath it's dry, or blend any of this. Now I can work on top of it, but with watercolor, when you use it, even though it's dry, you can go back in and play with it. So, with your acrylic paint, yes, you can do this. You can make this transparent A lot of people out there are new to mixed media, but look, it's going over that blue that's already dry, but you can see the blue underneath. Now, a lot of paint comes in different ways. There's certain acrylic paints that are more transparent than others, more opaque than others. So, I mean, it runs the gamut, and you definitely can learn which one you like, you know, to use or how to use it in different ways. For me, you can see I am jammed up here. I have so many art supplies here. And now I made me a resin table in the back. So I don't even have room there to throw things. So I like to use my acrylic paints. I use Folk Art. This is Ceramcoat, which is another one of my favorites. And I like to use them in different ways. So I can get the transparent, the glaze, the... Do you know what I'm saying? So you can get a few colors and play with them in different ways and get different effects out of them. So now I love using, you know, I love using the, let's just set that over there and I'm going to show you this. See the different, look, we got the darkest and it goes a little bit and it goes a little bit. And then look at this. It's a watercolor. Look. You know, where you could get it darker and then even a little bit of light. So, I mean, you see the difference in where we can go with an acrylic paint. I am not that familiar with watercolor. What the heck did I just do? I picked up the wrong brush. I am not that familiar with watercolor. I love using it in my mixed media. I pretend that I can paint with it. I can't. We're not fooling anybody. I'm not fooling anybody, I should say. Let me just get that off. I didn't want to do that. But I like playing with it. But a problem that I have, because I am not somebody who remembers well. I have no memory. So when I use the watercolor, I go over it. And of course, it lifts up. It doesn't. Do you know what I'm saying? This I know when it dries, it's going to be permanent. You saw I just accidentally picked up a brush with yellow on it and put it on there. I wiped it off. It's still on there. If that was watercolor, it would have wiped off a majority of that watercolor. So, which is great for some people, and for others like me, it's hard to get used to. And it's hard to know. When I think of watercolor, I go in and I get tons of water, tons of paint. I do like a wash, and I don't realize that you can actually use it as paint. But I have to learn it. So, and I've been learning, if you guys have been with me for a while, for about 15 years, and I still don't have it. So I will one day. But yeah, so you can see the difference in this. So how you get a glazing effect. Again, I use some Mod Podge with it. You can also, like I said, use just water. You know, that's totally up to you. What you want to do, it depends on the effect. Mod Podge for me will make it like thicker so I can have more lines in it. Again, mixed media thing. So it gives me more texture. If you don't have molding paste, modeling paste, texture paste, whatever you may call it, you can use your acrylic paint. I like to put Mod Podge in it to give it more. Even gloss Mod Podge is even better. If you have gloss Mod Podge, because a lot of you ask me, I have gloss Mod Podge, what do I do with it? You can use it in many different ways. And one of the ways I like to is I like to take it, mix it with some paint, and make some, not too much, you only want a little bit, but you make it, you know, you make it have texture and make it a flower or a cloud or something like that. And you really can play with it, and it gives you a little bit more. Now, there are mediums out there like glazing medium and that kind of thing that you definitely can get to use as well. And if you're able to, I am all for it. I have some. But if not, this is a great way to do it, you know? Or use some of your like your varnish or your gloss varnish or something like that, and you can do that as well. But this is like one of my favorite things. This is an example of how wonderful, you know, playing with acrylic paint can be, if you can't afford all the mediums, and you can't afford that. So just things that I like to do, you know. And you can see here, I mean, look how it's drying, and look at this texture. Look at that. It's really hard to see on camera, but I mean, it's a great background. great background or just a great piece. It's one of the things I love doing. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try to remember and do more backgrounds and put them up on my website if you're interested. You know, just to download for free. No big deal. Might be a page or two at times. Um, you know, so you can just download them and print them, and you can go to your local library and print for like 10 cents or Staples if you don't have a printer. You can download them if maybe you like doing digital and you could play with them on digital. You can do all kinds of stuff. So it'll just give you a starting place to, you know, print it out, glue it down, and start working on it. So yeah, so that's kind of what I just wanted to do. I wanted to play around and show you guys. My phone's going off somewhere. Show you guys, you know, a great way to play with your acrylic paints to get the most bang for your buck. And like I said, I love using Mod Podge. I love using water. And I like making it watercolory for myself. So I hope this was enjoyable. A lot of you have been, I got a hand, I shouldn't say a lot because a lot is a lot, but some of you have messaged me, I see on my emails and on my Facebook, checking in on me and that kind of stuff. And so I will probably do a sit down video maybe tomorrow or something and update you. I'm fine. I'm not gonna do anything to myself. You guys worry. Everybody worries about that. And I totally understand it. You know, so many people have been, you know, uh, taking their own lives and that kind of thing. And it's really scary and it's really sad. So, no, I'm just, you know, going through, like you say, ups and downs. So I've been trying to get on here and doing it. And I've had a few people check in on me through text and that kind of stuff. Danielle, who is just the sweetest, sweetest, sweetest. Um, so yeah, so I just, you know, wanted to come on here and give you guys some new fun stuff to try if you're starting out. So that's it. As always, please be kind to each other. You never know about somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so very much. And I'm going to be coming back with, I started it, a darker background page that I want to do and put up for some of you guys who love the darker stuff. Some background pages. So look for that. And I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I am very, very thankful. So have a blessed day. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.